But I tell you that because it's like a lot of times people will ask, how do you get your whole family on board with what you're trying to accomplish? And this, again, is one of those things. This isn't glamorous. This isn't super fun until all the stuff comes in, and you can actually enjoy it. It's kind of the hard work behind the scenes.
That's right.
So we did a lot of thought process again. We sat down with our kids. We explained to them why we wanted to do this, how it would benefit all of us, and just how we're going to do this as a team, because that's what we do as a team. We do things that will help us all. Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. All right, we are back. Got a new joke from Jack. What do plants do when their friends are sad?
What?
They photosympathize.
Bach is so silly.
That's pretty good.
We should have Baca start helping us out. Bring
him on.
Yeah. How about some jokes by Baca?
Podcast guest, Baca.
Yeah.
Nana and Baca.
They'd love it.
All right, so we're talking about organizing our family to accomplish all we want to, and now we're getting into the newest thing we've been taking on this year, which is gardening at our home.
Yes. Okay, how many gardeners do we have out there? I bet you a ton of people. People love it. It's super, people love it for relaxation and...
Yeah, but everybody's doing it now just because, they're just there's so much stuff and food that nobody's body can handle, and there's let's just call it what it is. There's just a world that cares more about making money than they care about you being healthy. And so everybody's being exposed to this heavily. I know we are. I know we've dealt with health stuff that all comes from food, even within our kids. And it's just crazy. And you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I can't just be lazy about this anymore. I got to do something about this. We got to have some of the right kind of food. And you just can't really find it anywhere. And if you do find it anywhere, it's so darn expensive that it's you got to be a multi-millionaire to be able to eat organic foods right now. It's it's unbelievable, especially if you have any size of a family. And so anyway, guess what we're doing? We're gardening.
I know it. And I'm actually very proud of us. We've done little gardens in the past. We've had gardens here and there. And typically, Abby would kind of head it up for us. She is our one that loves gardening. She enjoys actually being in the garden probably more than organizing the garden. But she really enjoys the whole concept of it. And we love it because, we all benefit from it. So we used to have a small little garden when we lived in Wisconsin, and that kind of is what started us off, getting excited about it. But this year we are going all out. We are making it happen this year. So it was interesting because, what was it? Maybe 3 months ago, we started prepping all the kids. I think we're going to do a garden this year. Let's do a garden. And of course, everyone's excited at first, super excited at first. Oh, yes, we'll all garden. This will be great.
Yeah, they're picturing fresh fruit, fresh vegetables every day on the counter. That's what they're picturing. Yeah.
But then there's some work that goes into it.
I think. Yeah. And so that's what we've been working on is I don't even know. We've been preparing for this. We've been talking about it. We had to figure out what we need to order. We had to do research to figure out where you can get certified organic this and that. Can you get mini plants that actually have that, or do you have to plant from seeds? Then if you do have seeds, when you start planting the seeds, and how do you get them to start sprouting? But they can't do it outside yet because if you plant anything before Mother's Day, it can freeze and they die. So now we have our utility room has these grow lamps or whatever they're called. Kids have to have a schedule. Seedlings. Yeah. Kids have to have a schedule for watering. There's all this process. Oh, and by the way, we had to rip out this one section beside our house, and then add new sprinklers in there.
When you say rip out a section, rip out some weeds and stuff like that.
Yeah, not our actual house.
Why don't we? We're not putting a green tree area in our house. You know what I mean?
There's
Like,
this whole area next to our house that was all this landscaping area, and it was multiple levels
and
with
people probably
stones around
loved
it.
it.
And yeah, looked like something the people that own the house for us probably really proud of. And we just ripped it all out. Like we just
I hope they don't drive
ripped it
by.
out and burned it all. Yeah. And so now we're out there getting compost, and I had to get 4.5 yards, which is a big dump truck full of compost, which compost is basically, you know what it is. It's like, fertilizer, right? So we got this dirt mixed with fertilizer, and everybody knows what that means. And I had to have the guy the other day drive through our backyard, and which of course you have sprinklers everywhere out here. And so he's driving a dually truck with like, I don't even know how many thousands of pounds of dirt, driving the backyard, ran over part of the neighbor's stuff. I got to fix the neighbor's stuff. Now, I don't even tell you about that part, but, and so we got compost out in the yard.
Did you tell him yet?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. We got to get the landscape guy to come out and rototill. We got to mix all the compost in. Then we got to plant. This is like our thing that's going on. This is the big project this week, along with playoffs in all the sports.
Right. And in our big calendar, we didn't really put this kind of detail in it.
No, we didn't. We didn't. But it's one of those things where it has to fit in the calendar at the time it needs to, or else you don't get stuff growing at the right time. So it's all an experiment for us right now. But we're learning. And this was part of, we kind of knew this year was going to be, you got to have a little bit of flexibility and grace because we are learning. But, we want to be able to actually produce enough fruits and vegetables for our family moving forward. We want to know how to do it. And so that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, and we wanted to teach our kids how. We're in a season where it's like being able to be the best example on what they can do for their future too. And it's not like you and I have a green thumb or anything. We've never done this. I mean, we didn't grow up having big gardens or anything like that. But again, prioritizing what matters right now in this season and organizing our family to get on board, even if, some of the things that we have to get done isn't exactly what each kid wants to do. And, that's just life sometimes. Sometimes we have to work as a family to do things we don't feel like doing. I mean, Abby loves gardening, but then we have a couple kids that are like, are you sure you need my help? As they kind of, try to scurry off. But I tell you that because it's like, a lot of times people will ask, how do you get your whole family on board with what you're trying to accomplish? Mm-hmm. And this, again, is one of those things. This isn't glamorous. This isn't super fun until all the stuff comes in, and you can actually enjoy it. It's kind of the hard work behind the scenes.
That's right.
So we did a lot of thought process again. We sat down with our kids. We explained to them why we wanted to do this, how it would benefit all of us, how not only benefit us as in like it'll taste amazing, but health-wise, how much better it'll be off for each of us, and just how we're going to do this as a team, because that's what we do as a team. We do things that will help us all.
Yeah, for sure. And so all the planning's been happening, and now we're full speed into it. And with everything that's coming up, just like you're saying, we're not doing prep just once. We're doing prep almost weekly, because every week there's new stuff that needs to get done. I was proud of Ellie. She's out there, and she just chose, when she could have just been playing with some friends outside, she chose to come help as I was preparing a certain area. And, I'm proud of Abby. She's working really hard. But even then, as she's getting a little overwhelmed, she's willing to ask for a little bit extra help. And, other parts of planning this is like getting on board with, what are we going to grow? What are we going to do? And there's just been so many different dynamics with this whole thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think with that, though, comes, again, having enough conversations. Explaining, having them do research. We had all of our kids do some research on maybe some fruits or vegetables that would produce well in the area we live in.
Yeah.
Why they would produce well, how quickly could they produce, what that looks like, would we even eat what would produce?
Right.
We had them all do a bunch of research. And again, some of the stuff isn't they don't get to choose if they want to do it. They're going to do it because this benefits the whole family. Mm-hmm. So they did a bunch of research. Then we had some good discussions. Then we had some heavy discussions on how we were going to do it, because everybody has their own creative way on how it should work out. But what's neat is, in the end, we're coming to the point where we're actually now building stuff. You and Drews are building trellises, I think next week, right?
For what? Tomatoes and cucumbers and
all the vines to go up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever else there is. I don't remember. Abby has the whole list, but like 6 rows of 12 feet long trellises, which we need, though, because we did the research on how many tomatoes do you got to have for a family of 8 to be able to eat every day. How many cucumbers do you need? We're not even talking about getting to the point where we start jarring some stuff. Also, where you have an abundance, we're figuring out strawberries. And then we've been learning the hard way, like what's the right kind of strawberries, what's the wrong kind of strawberries. We planted some last year. These things came out. They're like, each one's the size of a blueberry. Like, we're like, how did we get ripped off? Like, who's the sales guy?
We didn't do our research though. See, that was going in blindly.
We're all working our butts off, and you get like this teeny little morsel. It's like a chocolate chip size, strawberry. You get like, one per plant. We're like, oh, okay.
And then Abby was so upset because we planted these, worked really hard. They're the wrong ones, but we're just trying to have a good attitude. But then the guys came to paint the outside of the house, and they sprayed wasp and bee killer all over them. Because we had wasps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she didn't even want to eat what we planted.
Yeah. I don't blame her. That's pretty disgusting poison.
Well, why? That's what the other manufacturers are doing. They spray that stuff on it every single day. It seems like people are eating it all the time.
Probably it's very accurate.
Along with ant poisoning.
Anyway, so now we figured out some strawberries that actually will produce a decent sized strawberry, and I think, I don't even know how many we're planting of those. Like it's another, I don't even know, like 16 feet rows of them times 5 or something like that, enough to be able to be what our family will need. We're doing the same thing with blackberries, same thing with raspberries. We were planting potatoes. Which of course you have to do that if you live in Idaho. You know what I mean?
Like, that's a given. It would grow here.
What do we plant? Onions, I think. Carrots.
I think zucchinis.
Zucchinis is one. Yeah.
I like zucchinis.
We'll probably put a couple fruit trees up. It's all this balance of us doing this and then not even knowing if we're going to still live here in a few years.
Well, where are we going? We're staying in Idaho.
Yeah. I know we're going to stay in Idaho. I'm talking about just moving to a different house.
Oh, yeah, because we're always dreaming.
Yeah, we're always dreaming, and we just looked at a new house the other day, right?
Right.
And so, which would be pretty amazing. But
I'm taking all my plants with me. I'm going to make you and Drews pile them all up in the trailer and replant them all.
No joke, man. Like, probably.
I'm not joking because we're working hard over here. But again, I think it just goes to the point that, we're working as a team. So as a team, we're going to get to celebrate soon. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that we feel are super important is celebrating your wins. Yeah. And maybe we can chat a little bit about that on the next one, because I think that is so important. If you don't celebrate when you work together as a family unit, or when people are accomplishing things, or if you're not working to celebrate when good things happen in your life, you just assume you're never going to get a chance to celebrate it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it will be fun. We'll do some celebrating over the next couple of months, really. And that's, again, part of our calendar planning that we have figured out is we knew that this is going to be a busy season. We knew that, basically February, March. Well, I guess it's probably like really, when did we start sports? Was it March?
Last June.
No, this season. I guess it's probably March, April, and then part of May. And it's just been a whirlwind. But then also you throw in gardening now. And that's a whirlwind to get it all set up. After that, it's just pretty much maintaining it, which is more of the fun part like you're talking about. But, that's why we know we like June, July, we're going to go do some family trips, and we're going to go explore. And at some point we're going to go drive over to Yellowstone and, spend a couple days there. You and I are going up to McCall, Idaho, and spending a couple days there. And we're planning like replenishing type things for June and July, which is part of our way of celebrating our hard work season for March, April, and May. Okay. And I know us too, though, because this is all experience, and everybody out there needs to figure out a calendar for the year. But we also know that by the end of June and July, when we haven't really had a busy schedule, especially for the kids, that we're probably going to be ready for it, ready for some more structure again. And so that's when this other stuff starts kicking in. We will do that. Right. Yeah.
And that's when, again, you start looking to the next thing that as a family, you're trying to rally around to support. And that's the exciting thing is, from season to season, you have new opportunities to really help each other accomplish whatever goal it is that you want.
Yeah, it's like just understanding, our psychology. I think all of us are pretty good at working hard at something for 2-3 months, and then we do need a break. Like we need to get a mental break, a replenishment break. We need to have a structure of schedule break, and then we're ready again. But I know for me, whenever I've tried to do anything for more than like 2-3 months, where it's all in, then it just doesn't work well. I start getting too tired. I start losing focus. But man, just that extra 4 to 8 weeks of a different type of, it mixes it up. And I think our kids are all the same way, which has been good. So anyways, it's all good stuff. Mm-hmm. Calendar planning, figuring out what we can't do, learning a ton, sticking to what we are willing to do. Like one thing we're doing now too is in June, I'm signing up the oldest 5 kids plus myself for hunter safety out here in Idaho.
Like as in actually going hunting, not like like we have a daughter named Hunter, and so like
hunter safety. And so it's where you go through a bunch of classes and get some instruction, and then you get your hunter safety license so we can shoot some deer this year, which would be another new thing. My dad did it when I was a kid. I didn't really get a chance to do it with them. Kind of stopped before I was old enough. But I remember having freezers full of deer meat, and it's another thing that we want to learn how to do. So it's not even just about just the fun of it. It's like, I want to learn this skill of learning how to hunt better. I want our kids to know how to hunt better. And so again, when did we sign them up? Well, when we had some downtime around sports, And so anyways, that's going to be another fun thing this year. Of course, we have some friends now that have property we can do this on as well, which is really cool. So yeah, this is going to be this whole year is a really big growth year for our family, which is fun. But it all comes from strategically planning.
Correct. Yeah.
So
that's good.
You're good. I love you. Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.